everybody, I'm Julie Sternberg, author of Like Pickle Juice and a Cookie and its sequels, and this is my daughter who's decided not to smile. This is my daughter Emily, and I've written, what books have I written? Like Pickle Juice on a Cookie, Like Bug Juice on a Burger, Like Carrot Juice on a Cupcake, and the Top Secret Diary of Seeley Valentine series, and some picture books. Anyway, it's a delight to be here today. And I brought Emily with me because Emily and her sister Isabel are the inspiration for Eleanor, who's the main character in the Pickle Juice series. So I'll just show you those covers. This is like Pickle Juice on a Cookie, like Bug Juice on a Burger, like Carrot Juice on a Cupcake. And so I thought it might be fun to talk a little bit with Emily. Let me show you a picture of, this is not what she looked like when I was writing the books. She looked more like this.
I'm that one.
Yeah, the bigger one. And that's Isabel, who looks a bit of a mess. And that was fairly typical.
That's normal.
Not now necessarily, but then. So I wanted to ask you, Emily, what it's like to have a mom who's writing about you when you're a kid based on your experiences. Was it embarrassing? Was it at all nice? Was it horrifying? What was it like?
It was insane. I mean, everyone was stopping me in the hallways.
No, that's
I
not
felt
true.
famous.
No, that's
No,
not
I think it was pretty normal. I always thought my mom had a cool job, and I was always super proud of her when she would come read her books at school and stuff like that. But
fun.
I never felt embarrassed, and I always
Good.
was just, it made my life feel more interesting that my mom was writing about me.
That's nice. I'm glad. I did stop once you became a teenager.
Yeah, that might have been embarrassing.
You would not have liked that, I don't think. So, and did Eleanor feel like, oh, this is definitely me, or it's more of a mix of me and Isabel, or her own person?
I think Eleanor is definitely her own person. She definitely has personality traits that neither me nor my sister have. My sister or I have.
I think it's my sister.
I have. She is, sometimes I'll read a chapter and I'll be like, oh, that's something I would do, or oh, that's definitely something Izzy did do. And I feel like my mom took some inspiration there, but she's also completely her own person.
That's definitely true. And that's a good segue to why I chose which book to read today. Because, so like like Bug Juice on a Burger, which is the second book in the series, is about summer camp. And very recently we received a letter saying that the girls' summer camp, the summer camp they went to forever. How many years?
Best place ever.
Yeah.
I've gone there for 11 years. This would have been 12.
This would have been 12. And Isabel, likewise, has gone there forever. And she was supposed to be a counselor there this summer. And we received a letter recently saying that camp was canceled, which is very sad.
And I bet some of you guys are in the same position.
Probably.
I know a lot of camps.
Right. And I know camps that are open. So I feel like there are people having complicated feelings about summer camp. Sadness that it's not happening, excitement that it is happening, maybe some worry about it happening. And so like Bug Juice on a Burger is in fact a very complicated, it's a description of a complicated relationship with summer camp. Because Eleanor has well, at first she has mixed feelings over the course of the book about summer camp. And it is based very much on an Isabel experience, because Isabel's first summer at camp, I arrived for visiting day, and I basically had seen Isabel for like 30 minutes, I don't know. We sat down to eat in the cafeteria, and I was sitting talking to you, and I felt her like little arms around my neck. She was behind me, and I thought, oh, how sweet, Isabel's giving me a hug. But instead, she buried her face in my neck, and I could feel the tears start to drip down, and she started wailing, I want to go home. I want to go home. And she proceeded to cry for like
48 hours.
It was a hot mess. Our visiting days are from Friday until Sunday, and so it was really...
It's a whole weekend.
It was a disaster, and I had no warning of this. Y'all had not written and warned me. I think maybe, first of all, Isabel had not written at all. Not a single word. And Emily, you had written letters very dutifully. It was very sweet. This is fairly typical at the time. And
But I didn't tell you that Izzy was homesick. I knew Izzy was homesick because
Yeah.
every night she was crying.
I know, but I think all you had said in your letters was something like, Izzy was a little homesick, but she's fine now. She's doing okay now.
Well, she was fine during the day.
Right. So she did end up staying, and as you've gathered already from the fact that she was supposed to be a counselor this year, she ended up loving the camp, has gone back forever.
Her favorite place in the world.
Right, but the first summer was difficult. So I'm going to read a little bit from like Bug Juice on a Burger, and first we'll just say that although Emily and I will discuss now for a second, although this is the second book in the series, do you think that kids could read it before they read the first book in the series, which is like Pickle Juice on a Cookie? I'm just going to ask you because I always think you can read books out of order.
So my mom is famous because she'll always tell me, it doesn't matter the order, just, pick up
You'll be fine.
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. You don't need the background of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which you totally do. But I think in this case, you could definitely start with like Bug Juice on a Burger. And it might take you a second to kind of understand who all the characters are and what Eleanor's like and stuff like that.
Well,
But
I'm going to read from the beginning so
you
can see.
would be able to.
Yeah, you can see.
I think you guys will pick it up quick.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to read maybe a few chapters, and then maybe you'll ask me some questions that you think kids might be interested in.
On it.
Okay, cool. Like Bug Juice on a Burger. I hate camp. I just hate it. I wish I didn't, but I do. Being here is worse than bug juice on a burger, or homework on Thanksgiving, or water seeping into my shoes. I want to go home right now. I really do. Okay, this is the illustration. And that's what her handwriting is. Okay, chapter 1. This all began one day when Grandma Sadie called me up on the phone. I have a wonderful surprise, she said. Right away, the best possible surprise popped into my mind. You're giving us a dog, I said. Grandma Sadie was quiet. Then she said, Eleanor, honey, your parents don't want a dog. I knew that, but I didn't understand it. We'd be so happy with a dog. That's what I told Grandma Sadie. Here's the picture, Eleanor on the phone. And I'm old enough to take care of it. I'm 9. I know, she said. We could name it Antoine, I said. I love the name Antoine. Then I love it too, she said. But should we talk about your actual surprise? Oh, I said. I'd almost forgotten about that. Sure. Well, Grandma Sadie said, I was just remembering how much your mother enjoyed sleepaway camp when she was a girl. I think you'd also enjoy it. So I'd like to treat you to sleepaway camp this summer. Would you like to go? Yes, I said, I would. I really meant it too. My friend Katie went last summer, I said, every single day. She ate M&Ms and rode horses and jumped on a floating trampoline. How marvelous, Grandma Sadie said. She got great at diving too, I said. They gave her trophies. Okay, so here are the pictures. Kind of hard to see. Let's get you started winning trophies, Grandma Sadie said. I'll call your mom's camp right away, Camp Wallam-Wapuk. She did too. She called that camp with the crazy name right away. She also sent me a photograph in the mail, an old camp picture of my mom when she was a girl. She's standing outside a small white cabin, wearing a backpack and hugging a rolled up puffy sleeping bag. She looks so happy. I taped that picture to the wall by my bed and looked at it night after night before the start of summer. All those nights, I believed I'd be happy at Wallam-Wapuk too. I really did. That's the picture for Mom. Okay. Chapter 2. The day before camp began, my mom and I packed up together. I read aloud from the camp list. 2 flashlights, I read, with batteries. One moment, my mom said. She searched through shopping bags and pulled out 2 flashlights and 2 packs of batteries. Marker, please, she said. I handed her a permanent marker, and she started writing my name on a flashlight, because the camp list said to label everything. Next, she said, 1 sleeping bag, I read. My mom pulled my sleeping bag into her lap. It was so much thinner than hers had been. I saw that without checking the photo on the wall by my bed because I already knew that picture by heart. Your sleeping bag must have been so much softer, I said to my mom. This one's plenty soft, she said, writing my name on my bag. And remember what Natalie told us? She has practically the same one. Natalie is my nice babysitter who has beautiful hair. I know, I said. That's a picture of Natalie and the supplies there. But I still like yours better. My mom said. She'd gotten distracted. She sat very quietly for a second with the bag in her lap, thinking. What is it? I asked her. She smiled. I was just remembering how beautiful Wapak is, she said. You're going to have such a nice time. Then she set my sleeping bag aside and said, what's next? 7 pairs of underwear, I read from the list. Get them, please, my mom said. So I opened a dresser drawer and started counting out underwear. I gave my mom the stack, and she uncapped her marker. Wait, I cried. She looked up surprised. I don't want my name in my underwear, I said. But what if you lose it, my mom said. What if you drop it somewhere, like on your way back to your cabin after taking a shower? Then I really don't want my name in it, I cried. I don't want everyone knowing it's my dirty underwear. Please, Eleanor, my mom said, don't forget, your laundry gets done after the first 5 days. If you don't have your name in your underwear, you won't get them back for the last 5 days. Oh, I said. I tried to decide which was worse, everyone seeing my dirty underwear or wearing no underwear for the last half of camp. I couldn't decide. Finally, my mom said, how about just your initials? Fine, I said, but I'm leaving the oldest ones at home. As she handed me back my most worn-out underwear, I realized she wasn't going to be at camp with me at all, not even to help me put my things away, or make sure my flashlights worked, or tuck me in under my thin sleeping bag. My heart started to hurt. What if I miss you and Dad too much, I asked her. Will you come get me? You won't miss us that much, she said. I can't even call you, can I said. I was starting to feel sweaty. Only in an emergency, my mom said. But what if they keep me from calling, I said. What if they're evil? I thought for another second. And what if they read my letters before mailing them to make sure I'm not telling you their evil deeds? I promise you, they're not evil, my mom said. The director was a counselor back in my day. She's always been lovely. I ignored that. Then I had a brilliant idea. We'll have a code, I said. I came up with one real quick. If I write in one of my letters, I just met Esmeralda, then you must come rescue me. Got it? If you meet Esmeralda, my mom said, then I rescue you. Can we finish packing now? Yes, I said, feeling much better. We can. Okay, so these are the pictures of the underwear. And this is a picture of Eleanor on her bed worrying, as Eleanor is wont to do. Are you recognizing any of these moments from?
Oh, totally. We had the same code word. If I had just met Esmeralda, Mom had to come get me.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Did you have an Esmeralda moment where you wanted to write a letter that said, "I just met Esmeralda"?
Well, I always loved camp, so there was no evil camp director.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sure if I had just written, "I want to come home," that letter would have.
Should we name your camp? Because you're saying such nice things about it? Yeah.
Camp Chimney Corner is the best camp in the world. You should all go.
In Beckett, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there was not evil.
So it was not because they were evil, but there was one summer where I was really sick at camp. I had a fever for like a week. And I was stuck in the infirmary. And at first I was like, this sucks. When you're sick, you just want to be with your mommy. So I wrote a letter, and I think in that letter I said, I just met Esmeralda. And I just kept it by my bed, and I said, if things get really bad, then I'll send it. But I never sent it because even just writing the letter and having it next to me made me feel much better. I didn't actually want to go home. I just wanted to know that if I had the option to, if it got that bad.
Right. And what about underwear?
Oh, underwear, exact same. I think that was more my sister
That
who
was
had
definitely Isabel.
more
was
of the
obsessed.
freak out about the underwear. But we ended up, first we had initials, and then one summer we also had like a code language in our underwear, which I don't know why that would do anything.
You're right, because nobody else knew the code.
Right, but it was
I know why.
heart, circle, dot.
I know why. Because if you left, like if you dropped your underwear, then they had like a lost and found.
Yeah.
And they would put your underwear there.
So you wanted to make sure it was yours
So
before
then
you took
would-
someone else's underwear?
So then you would know it was your underwear, but nobody else would know it was your underwear. So I guess then you could retrieve it and like get it washed.
Pretty ingenious parenting hack.
There were a lot of underwear-related conversations, but I think this actually did happen to Izzy. Do you remember this?
What?
That she actually did drop her underwear, and without realizing it. And then she was walking back from the shower. I think she dropped it like on the way to the shower or something, and she was walking back from the shower, and she saw someone's underwear, and she's like, whose is that? And then she saw the code, which was like a circle and a rectangle, and she picked up her underwear. So
it works.
She's like, she wrote over like, my nightmare came to life, but see, she survived it. So that's a really helpful
A good
lesson.
lesson.
A good lesson. Okay, so should I read a little bit more?
One more chapter,
One more chapter? Do you think I should read this, like the chapter that comes next, or should I pick a particularly
Maybe
compelling?
let's go to a chapter where she's at camp.
Okay. So,
Right.
yeah, maybe like the swim test.
Ooh.
So she's really worried because, you know, she grows up she's from Brooklyn, and she doesn't swim all the time. It's not like she's from a place where they have a swimming pool, and so she is very worried about. She realizes she's going to have a swim test, and she's very worried about the swim test. So I'm just trying to find.
Also a true story. We always were very worried about the
Very
swim
obsessed
test.
with the swim test issue. Okay, here we go.
Chapter
Okay,
10.
chapter 10. So we're skipping a lot, and there are a lot of fun chapters in between.
But you'll have to buy the book to find out what
Right.
happens.
You'll have to buy the book. And I'll just tell you that you'll hear girls' names here, and they are girls in her cabin.
Joplin's her counselor, right?
No, Joplin is just a very tall girl in her cabin they've become friends. Okay. After lunch and a camp tour, we all stood on the dock, barefoot and in our swimsuits, waiting for the swim test. The wood was rough beneath my feet, and the sun beat on my shoulders, straight through my sunscreen. My stomach hurt too, and not just from hunger. I'd never had a swim test before. I didn't even swim very often. My parents had made me take lessons, and we'd gone together to the pool on weekends, but it was always very crowded with bigger, rougher kids jumping and throwing things, so we'd never stayed long. Now, as my face soaked up sun, I worried. What if I fail the test? I asked Joplin. Nobody fails, Joplin said. You get put in a baby group, Dylan said. Not a baby group, Joplin said. Just a group for beginners. Same thing, Dylan said. What a meanie, I thought. I wanted Joplin to lift one foot and squash her. A lifeguard in a red bikini blew her whistle then. Here's how the test goes, she said. Swim to the other dock and back 3 times without stopping. Show me 3 different strokes. She broke us into groups of 2. I swam last with curly-haired Kylie. We jumped into the deep lake together. I kicked my way up fast for air and gasped. That water was freezing, so much colder than the pool. I could feel my lips turn blue. The water was muddy too, which felt gross against my skin, and I couldn't see a thing as I swam. Plus, Kylie kicked me hard when we were getting started. I knew it was an accident, but still, it hurt. Then, doing the back crawl, I bumped my head on the dock. And doing the front crawl, I forgot how to breathe. Finally, I pulled myself out of the freezing lake and back onto the dock. I stood there shivering and dripping as the lifeguard told us how we'd done. Then it was official. I was the worst swimmer in Gypsy Moth. That's the name of her cabin. You'll be in the Guppies swim class, she told me, and only me. Guppies were the second lowest class, next to tadpoles, a baby class. Everyone else in my cabin was an angelfish or a shark or a great white whale. She can't do breaststroke at all, I heard Dylan whisper to Kylie. She practically can't swim at all, Kylie whispered back. I wanted to sneeze on their arms, but I didn't have a sneeze in me. I stepped away from them instead and tried to hide in Joplin's long shadow. The lifeguard still saw me, though. If guppies want to go on the floating trampoline, she told me, they need to wear a life jacket. A life jacket, I thought. That's like wearing a diaper. Joplin turned to me. Life jackets aren't bad, she said. They're puffy. I tried to smile a little because I knew she was being nice, but it was hard to do. We walked together off the dock. Dirt stuck to the bottoms of my wet feet. And when I reached for my towel, I saw a mosquito on my arm, sucking my blood. I slapped it to kill it, and it smushed into my skin. I had to wipe the dead parts off my hand because I didn't have a tissue. My poor hand, still scraped up at the bottom, she'd had a big fall, and now smeared with bugs parts at the top. Aw, poor Eleanor, she's having a rough time. Okay, so let me show you the pictures. This is a picture of everyone on the dock. Eleanor is scared and everybody else is having a great time. And then this is a picture of Eleanor during the test. Matthew Cordell did the illustrations. He always did such a good job. This is her life jacket and her hand with the bug parts at the top. So that is that.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, maybe after this I'll read the whole thing.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, so what kinds of questions do you think people might like to hear the answers to?
Okay, well, I have some questions. I don't know if you'll like to hear them, but these are my questions.
Okay.
Okay, so the titles of your books are pretty interesting. You know, they're not exactly the type of title you see all the time when you're just in the bookstore looking around. So
Right.
was that your idea for the title from the start? Is this the title you wanted? Do you like the title? Tell me everything.
Okay. I love the titles. They are not the titles that I wanted from the start. So it all started with pickle juice, like pickle juice on a cookie. This is about the time when Eleanor's babysitter, whose name is BB, moved away. And the very last line of the book is, BB will always be my BB, even if she is waiting for a breeze in Florida and I am far away. So sorry if I gave away the last line of the book, but anyway, that's the last line of the book. And so I had thought of the title as My BB, which seemed like a really sweet title. But the sales and marketing people at the publishing house said it's too quiet, which meant it's too boring of a title. And I said, well, what do you suggest? And the sales and marketing people suggested like pickle juice on a cookie, which is an expression that I used a couple of times in the book, including on the first page, which was to say that my summer was as bad as pickle juice on a cookie, because my editor said, don't worry, we won't use that title, because that was not, as you said, it's an unusual title, and I think it just wasn't something that she really thought of as in the title realm. But I kind of liked it, so what I did was I created a list of titles. She had suggested some, and I put My BB, and the ones she had suggested, like, I think it was something like, A Letter from BB, My Summer Without BB, things like that. And I included, like, Pickle Juice on a Cookie in the list. And then every time one of y'all's friends walked through the door, I don't know if you remember my doing this and if it mortified you, but I would show them the list, and I would say, if you saw a book with this title in the bookstore, which one would you be most likely to want to take off the shelves and read and say, like, please buy this for me? And every single one of them said, like, Pickle Juice on a Cookie. And so as soon as I told that to my editor, she was like, okay, that's going to be the title.
You had the data to back it up.
The market research. So, and I'm so glad, because the cover, I think, but once we went with the pickle juice and they came up with the pickle juice jar, and you could have the label with her in it, and it lent itself to a really fun cover.
And a good theme for the other two
exactly.
books.
So then we knew, well, we didn't actually know. I wanted to do something, I wanted to keep with the idea of like something bad on something good, but I wanted to do something like, I can't remember what, like water in your shoes or something. And they wanted to keep with the juice theme, which again, I think was smart, because you can have covers that look very similar with the juice jars. And bug juice it's explained in the book, but in a lot of camps call fruit punch bug juice.
So speaking of, this theme for the 3 books, when you wrote the first book and then when you wrote the second book, did you know it was going to be a series? Did you think, oh, I have a vision, 3 books?
Excellent question. No, I had no idea. I wrote Pickle Juice, as a standalone, just thinking it would be one book only. And then the publishing house wanted another one, so I wrote this one thinking it could well be the last one, and then they wanted a third, which is...
Yeah, will you explain what Carrot Juice is about? Because we haven't heard about that one yet.
So Carrot Juice begins, I'll just read you the first little part, which is, I did a mean thing, a very mean thing, to a new girl and to my best friend. I hate that I did it, but I did. If this is worse than carrot juice on a cupcake, or a wasp on my pillow, or a dress that's too tight at the neck, I hope you never do anything that mean. I really do. So
you showed the illustration, I think.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah. So this book is about Eleanor does something mean to her best friend and to this new girl. And she kind of didn't mean to do it, but she definitely did it. It's one of those situations where you do something and then you know immediately, oh God, I should not have done that. Why did I do that? And then she has to make things right. So it's really about messing up and having to figure out how to fix it.
Yeah.
So
we've all been there.
yeah. Well, because the first two books are about kind of bad things happening to Eleanor. Like the first one is
babysitter.
Someone she loved moved away and she had to figure out how to go on. And then the second book is she goes somewhere she really doesn't like and she has to figure out how to adjust and make that feel better. And for those of you who are going to camp, she does, succeed. She
PSA, you probably won't have a terrible swim
time.
test.
Yes, exactly. You won't have a terrible time probably at camp. It's Eleanor is a worrier, and she.
I think she gets it from you.
I don't know where she gets that. Yeah, I worry about everything. And so in the third book, I wanted her to do something bad instead of having something bad happen to her. That was really fun to write and think about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think that might be it for today.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us. Should we
Thanks
show
for
them?
having me, Mom.
I was thinking, should we show them our dog since Eleanor wants a dog?
Where is she?
That's a good question.
Here, you wrap it up.
Okay.
I'll get the dog.
While Emily gets the dog, let me just say that I hope everybody is okay. I hope that you are holding up okay in this crazy time, and I hope that your families are too, and I hope that we are all, on the other side of this very soon and doing fun things and getting back to the pre-quarantine normal. And here comes the dog. Come in, come. Who looks, just as my hair needs a serious cutting, does Clementine need grooming? But here she is.
Say hi, Clem.
Hi. Say thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. Bye, everybody. Thank you.